Your mom doesn't love you anymore. She chose her job over you, my mother-in-law Eleanor said in a fake sweet voice through the phone recording. I gripped the kitchen counter, my hands shaking as I listened. My best friend Sarah had secretly recorded her at Sunday dinner. She abandoned you, just like I told your father she would. My name is Olivia Parker. I'm 35 years old, and I never thought I'd hear my own mother-in-law filling my children's heads with lies. Especially while I was recovering from emergency surgery. The worst part, my husband James believed her. 2 months ago, I collapsed at work during an important meeting. What seemed like stress turned out to be a serious medical condition. I needed surgery and a long recovery. Eleanor stepped in to help with my kids, Emma 10 and Lucas 8, while I was in the hospital. I should have known better. Eleanor never liked that I was a software engineer. She believed real mothers stayed home. She always reminded James how his mother had sacrificed everything for her family. It bothered her that I earned more than James. See how peaceful the house is without her? She continued in the recording. You meet a real mother, not someone who puts work first. My hands trembled as I played the recording again. Sarah had noticed something was wrong when she visited my kids last weekend. They seemed distant, avoiding questions about me, so she left her phone recording during Sunday dinner. Now I knew why my kids barely spoke to me when they visited the hospital. The sound of the front door opening snapped me back to reality. James walked in, looking tired. You're home early, he said. Shouldn't you be resting? We need to talk about your mother, I said, trying to stay calm. James sighed. Not this again, Olivia. Mom's been a lifesaver. The kids are doing great with her. Really? I held up my phone. Then why is she telling them I abandoned them? James frowned. What are you talking about? I pressed play. As Eleanor's voice filled the room, I watched James' expression change, first disbelief, then confusion. She's just trying to help, he mumbled. You weren't here. I was in the hospital. My voice cracked. Fighting for my life while your mother turned my kids against me. And you let her. That's not fair, James argued. Someone had to take care of them. You couldn't handle both work and family. His words hit me like a slap. I didn't choose this, James. I was sick. But I saw it in his eyes. He believed his mother. In her version of the story, my illness was proof that I wasn't good enough. The kids are happy now, he said, avoiding my gaze. Maybe Mom's right. Maybe you do need to rethink your priorities. I stared at him. Do you even hear yourself? Your mother is turning our children against me and you're defending her. Before he could answer, my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. You need to hear the rest of what I recorded. Come over ASAP. I grabbed my keys. I'm going to Sarah's. Don't wait up. Olivia, you're overreacting, James called after me. Mom just wants what's best for the kids. The drive to Sarah's was a blur. She opened the door before I could knock, looking serious. There's more? I asked. She nodded, opening her laptop. I went back yesterday when Eleanor was alone and recorded her talking to a friend on the phone. You need to hear this. Sarah pressed play. It's working perfectly, Eleanor said, sounding pleased. James is finally realizing he married beneath him. Once Olivia's gone, I can help him find a proper wife. The kids are young. They'll forget her soon enough. I felt sick. Eleanor wasn't just taking advantage of my illness. She was planning to erase me from my family's life. She's also telling people at church that you had a mental breakdown, Sarah added quietly. She's making sure everyone believes you're unstable. I sat in silence, letting it all sink in. Eleanor had been planting these seeds for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. And now she thought she had won. But she made one mistake. She underestimated me. I pulled out my phone and called my lawyer. Remember when you told me to document everything? I have recordings you need to hear. As I hung up, a calm determination settled over me. Eleanor thought she had destroyed me. She had no idea what was coming. The next morning, I sat in Linda's office, watching her face as she listened to the recordings. With every word, her frown deepened. This is serious, she said, stopping the playback. What your mother-in-law is doing isn't just wrong, it's illegal. And James letting this happen? That's a problem too. We need to act fast. I nodded and pulled out a notebook filled with notes. I've been keeping track since I got out of the hospital. Every missed visit, every canceled call. Everything Eleanor has done to keep my kids away. Linda gave a small, approving smile. Smart. You've dealt with her games before, haven't you? For 12 years, I said. But this time, she's gone too far. For the next hour, we made a plan. Linda told me to gather more proof while she prepared legal paperwork. Don't confront Eleanor yet, she warned. Let her think she's winning. That evening, I picked up Emma and Lucas from school before Eleanor could get there. They looked shocked to see me. Ice cream? I asked, forcing a smile. They hesitated, then nodded. At the ice cream shop, I watched them closely. Emma kept checking her phone. Lucas looked like he wanted to say something but kept stopping himself. You know you can tell me anything, right? I said gently. Even things Grandma Eleanor told you. Emma froze, her spoon in midair. Lucas stared at his bowl. Is it true? Emma whispered. That you don't want to be our mom anymore? It felt like a punch to the stomach. Who told you that? I asked softly. Grandma said. Lucas started, then glanced at Emma. She said you were gone so long because you're moving away for work. I took a deep breath. Lucas, sweetheart, I was in the hospital. Remember the doctors? The machines? I was really sick, but do you know what kept me going? They looked at me with wide eyes. I fought to get better because nothing is more important to me than being your mom. Emma's lip trembled. But Grandma said. Grandma Eleanor is wrong, I said firmly, and I can prove it. I showed them photos from my hospital stay, the dates clear, then my medical records. Slowly, doubt faded from their faces. Is that why you had all those machines? Lucas asked. I nodded. And every day, I asked to see you. I have the messages to prove it. Emma wiped her eyes. Grandma said you were too busy with work to visit us. That was never true, I said, squeezing her hand. By the time we finished our ice cream, I could feel the wall Eleanor had built between us starting to crack. On the way home, my phone kept buzzing, James and Eleanor, demanding to know where we were. I sent a simple reply. Kids are with me. We're having family time. When we pulled up to the house, Eleanor was waiting, her face full of fake concern. Where have you been? We were so worried, she said sweetly. Before I could answer, Lucas spoke up. Mom took us for ice cream. She showed us pictures from the hospital. Eleanor's smile faltered. Oh, sweetheart, you shouldn't think about such sad things. Why don't you come stay with Grandma tonight? I'll make your favorite dinner. No, Emma said quietly. I want to stay with Mom. Eleanor's grip on her purse tightened. Don't be silly, dear. Your mother needs rest. She's not well enough. Actually, I cut in. My doctor cleared me weeks ago. Would you like to see the paperwork? Eleanor's eyes narrowed. James and I agree that the kids need stability. Your career. Mom's job isn't the problem, Emma snapped. You are. You lied about her not wanting us. The silence was thick. Eleanor's face twisted for a moment before she put on her usual innocent act. I would never, she started. Save it, I said. Kids, go inside and start your homework. I need to talk to Grandma. Once they were inside, Eleanor dropped the act. You think you're so clever, she hissed. But James knows what's best. You'll never be the mother they deserve. I smiled, thinking of the recording safe with my lawyer. We'll see about that. And Eleanor, don't come back unless you're invited. She glared at me but didn't argue. As she drove away, I could almost see her mind racing, planning her next move. But this time, I was ready. The final confrontation happened sooner than I expected. Eleanor called an emergency family meeting for the following Sunday, telling everyone I had become unstable and was refusing to let the children see their grandmother. Perfect. I arrived at Eleanor's house with Emma and Lucas, who now understood they were part of a bigger plan. James was already there, along with Eleanor's sister Margaret and her husband, plus a few other family members Eleanor had rallied to her cause. Thank you all for coming, Eleanor began, standing in her pristine living room. We need to discuss Olivia's recent concerning behavior. Actually, I interrupted smoothly. I have something to share first. I pulled out my laptop and connected it to her TV. Since we're all here to discuss behavior, let's start with this. Eleanor's face paled as her own voice filled the room. The complete recording Sarah had made, including her phone conversation about destroying my relationship with my children. It's working perfectly. James is finally seeing what I've been saying all along. Once Olivia's out of the picture, I can help him find a proper wife. The kids are young enough. They'll forget her eventually. The silence in the room was absolute. James sat frozen, his face ashen as he listened to his mother's calculated plans to destroy our family. Margaret covered her mouth in horror. "Turn that off," Eleanor shrieked, lunging for the laptop. "This is obviously manipulated." "I have the original recordings authenticated by experts," I said calmly, "plus documentation of every visit you prevented while I was in the hospital, every lie you told my children, every time you undermined my role as their mother." I turned to face the room. I've been quiet for years, tolerating the subtle digs, the manipulation, the constant criticism. But using my illness as an opportunity to turn my children against me, that crosses a line. James stood up, his voice shaking. "Mom, tell me this isn't true." Eleanor's composure cracked. "I did it for you. She was never good enough for you. Working all the time, making more money than you. I had to protect the children from her influence." "Protect them." Emma spoke up, her voice clear and strong. "You lied to us. You made us think Mom didn't want us anymore." Eleanor faltered, looking around the room for support and finding none. Even her sister Margaret was shaking her head in disgust. "James," I said quietly, "I've tried to be patient, to understand why you couldn't see what your mother was doing. But I won't let her poison our children's minds anymore. Linda has drawn up papers. Either you stand with your family and set clear boundaries with your mother, or we'll let a judge decide what's best for Emma and Lucas." The room erupted in chaos. Eleanor alternated between tears and accusations, but nobody was listening anymore. James walked out to the porch, and after a moment's hesitation, I followed him. "I should have seen it," he said, his voice rough. "All these years, the way she manipulated everything. I'm so sorry, Olivia." "It's not too late to fix this," I replied, "but things have to change." A week later, we sat in Linda's office, signing documents that laid out clear boundaries for Eleanor's access to our family. James had finally found his backbone, supporting my decision to limit her influence and seek family counseling. Eleanor, predictably, didn't take it well. She tried calling other family members, spinning stories about how I turned everyone against her. But the recordings spoke for themselves, and her support system crumbled. 6 months later, our family had found a new normal. James and I were working through things in therapy, rebuilding trust day by day. Emma and Lucas were thriving, no longer caught in their grandmother's web of manipulation. As for Eleanor, she sent a carefully worded apology letter, clearly crafted by her own lawyer, asking to be part of the children's lives again. Maybe someday we consider it, with strict supervision and clear boundaries. But for now, we were healing, growing stronger as a family. Eleanor had tried to destroy what I held most precious, thinking I would be too weak to fight back. She learned the hard way that a mother's love isn't something to underestimate. Last week, Emma left a note on my pillow. "Thank you for fighting for us, Mom. You're the strongest person I know." Those words meant more than any victory over Eleanor ever could.